Hello everyone, we are on the magical map of Pyrenees Peak, which is big, and there is a big hill in the center. A map that I had honestly forgotten existed until this game was sent to me by none other than Amber, the Bunny Queen herself. She is playing Russia. I had contacted her through Steam and said, hey, I got a challenge for you. Win a game just bringing line infantry. And she said, sure, give that a shot. And she has an interesting take on it. She has chosen to play Russia. There's a couple smart things about this. The first is we're on a snow map. And y'all probably know, snow is one heck of an environmental factor. Your men in snow get tired super quick, and they don't regain their stamina terribly fast. With a few exceptions, one of Russia's traits as a faction is they have resistance to cold, which makes them an excellent choice for this map. And in fact, that resistance to cold effect is going to counter a lot of disadvantages. You know, if the opponent has a guard infantry unit, you have regular, but they're at exhausted and you're at fresh, you're in a pretty good spot, and Russia gives you a huge advantage on this map. The second thing that makes Russia nice is they're very good at melee attack. The Russian musketeer unit is, and Amber has 18 of them and a general. So that gives her army a little more dimension. She can melee attack a little more reliably. Now, a kind of hilarious thing happens here if you watch the minimap in a Sweden to play. This player had walked to the center of the map all nice and normal, then all of a sudden they just kind of go, oh shit! And they run away, man. They run, and they're going to run all the way to the back of the red line. And I think Amber was a little pissed off about this because her file name was something like Corner Camper or something like that. And of course, camping is not so cool because it makes your opponent do all the extra work. Why not just go and fight it out in the middle of the map? I don't know. And why did this person get so afraid? They're facing down line infantry. That's it. 18 line infantry. But no, we got incredibly scared about that. And now we're going to look at what might have been an interesting game turn into yet another tutorial video on how to defeat a camper. That's pretty much what we're going to get. And it was kind of funny watching the, like, if you had this replayed, you just watch the mini-map and fast forward and, you know, the players moving in, and then they're like, oh shit, we got to run. So that is the deal. So what we're going to watch, and this is, oh God, slow down. The person does make a move for Amber's general. Amber turns 2 line units around. They actually get shots at the cav. Then they're going to square, and here we have a horrible example of independent cav use. Once again, let's use cav to support our infantry. I guess maybe this works every now and then. It's why people try it, but we're going to throw away Dragoon Guards and a 15th Hussar. Those are expensive cav units there. So that's cool. That's kind of happening. And then, you know, what this dude has decided to do is come back here to the edge of the map, and they're going to form, you know, some kind of triangle or whatever. Amber is doing the right thing. If you look at her blue dots in the mini-map, the real key to defeating this tactic is to take your time and surround them. It's very important because once they get in this, you know, little pyramid down here, if you can threaten them from every angle at once, it's actually really easy if you do it right. The reason for that is they're going to have to form all these oblique angles, and you're going to get, you know, if you position correctly, good angles on them. Like, see where this rifle unit is just going to cover a line there? Well, a unit walking into the tree here is going to have a good time. And so you can see with her dots, she's preparing to make her assault. The other problem the British player has is, notice this unit's exhausted, that unit's exhausted, we're very tired. Amber's unit's there. Okay, that one's tired. We're winded. That's better. Active. Well, her units are going to recuperate. I picked the wrong time to do the whole hover over for this, but there's somebody who's at fresh. There's another one at fresh, but her units are going to get back to fresh very quickly. And she starts the attack on the right. Notice, like I was saying, she has a really good angle, and she's just fighting fencibles here. So this is a kind of a good place to be. And she's going to be able to walk up here, get really good fire. These fencibles aren't going to last terribly long. This dude's probably going to rout at close to 100. They're exhausted. Oh, they're already wavering. Yep, they break at 94. So that's kind of what you get. And so what Amber's done is she's made a decision, and she's already going to route 3 units. So this is already looking bad for the GB person, because it's not much holding her off here. Once again, the Cav tries to get in her general, and I think she's just going to straight up win with Count Von something or other. I think that's the 3-star, I'm not sure. And so already the things look bad for the camper, because Amber's going to have, what, 5 on 2, and she's got 4 more units in reserve, and she hasn't even really started her melee attack yet. It seems like the GB player put way too much money into this elite Cav. Yep, the Royal Scout's Grays, man, nice unit. So we have all this elite Cav for the GB player that's going to wind up being totally irrelevant. Due to the camp, and because they put all this money in their Cav that they're not even going to get to use, they're going to be woefully undermanned up here where things are going to matter. So Amber decides to go in for the melee attack now. We're chugging at a foot unit, and this dude doesn't really have any good options. The game is already over. The game is actually pretty much over. Amber could just, if this was a StarCraft game, you just, F2 A move, control A attack would be kind of the play, and I think she just wins it. Here comes another Cav hit charge in the back here. That is not a great way to use the Royal Scots Greys. Not a great way. And she squares, so they're not going to last very long. At this point, it's kind of a mopping up effect. Amber's really good at getting 2v1s. Like, once again, we have 2 units shooting at 1. That's the single best way to win Napoleon games, is, and not only 2v1 just straight up firing, but she's got her dudes in melee around here. Why not? Another melee attack comes in. There's basically no reason not to. And she's being real patient over here. I mean, I'd be like, can I get these guys moving? But she doesn't really need it. So, let's try to make this video educational, right? So we did a couple things. We engaged a camper, and what she did that was smart is she took her time, encircled the camper, and then got over here where she had a good angle of 3 units shooting on 2, and then kind of continued that. And once she makes this initial crack, if you watch enough of Amber's games, what she's really good at is she's good at creating an initial little advantage where she cracks your first unit, and now it's 20 on 19, and then she cracks your second unit with more 2-on-1 play, and now it's 20 on 18, and before you know it, it's 19 on 16, and it's really hard for a player of her caliber to lose at that point. So if she is able to get that initial advantage, to get an initial 2v1 on you, that's usually enough momentum for a player of this caliber to win the game. You know what I mean? And this isn't like StarCraft where you can just build more units. No, you're stuck with the units that you started the game with. And so if you're passive at the beginning of the game and allow her to dictate the terms where she's able to create a good 2v1 advantage, you're very likely to lose the game. That's very... that's a reason why you need to be very active against a player like Amber, because if you're passive, she will eventually find an angle on you. And if she finds an angle on you and gets a 2v1, then you're in big trouble, because she's also not going to let up. It's not like she's going to crack your first unit and then sit back and you're going to be able to pull back and reform a line and think about it. No, she's probably going to keep you engaged the whole time. And that's kind of hard for newer developing players to kind of really grasp, is you have to be super active in the early game, because she can decide the game in about 2 minutes. If she cracks 1 or 2 units on your flank, you can basically never recover from that as long as she keeps the initiative going, which is why a camper like this is probably never going to beat a player like Amber. And a camper, their skill is going to top out at a point, because camping as a strategy, unless you have artillery, is weak to active attacking players. You know what I mean? And that's a good reason to be attack oriented, and why maneuver is really important in the game. That's why moving your units is important. That's how you create localized positional advantage, right? And I thought this was a really good example from Amber. Again, she only has line infantry. She doesn't have the benefits of lights. She doesn't have a range advantage anywhere. She doesn't have cav to swoop in and make you form square. She has to run straight up and shoot at you. And if anything, I want to say the camper made her job a lot easier. It kind of eliminated the GB Cav as any kind of useful force on the field. It made her lights kind of irrelevant because as the camper's backed into the corner, they don't have anywhere to maneuver their lights or anything. And what we saw was an absolute beatdown from Amber. I mean, she only loses, what, like maybe 7 or 8 units here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, 8 units. And boom, headshot. That's how you get it done. So thanks a bunch, Amber, for sending me the game. I hope you liked it. Get out there, try the 20 line challenge. Again, this is a different take on it. We picked Russia on a snow map with the idea that we were going to do a lot of melee attack. Came off pretty successful. Get out there, play some Napoleon, send me a video. The address is sendmeyourreplays@gmail.com. Can't promise I'll watch a game, but I might watch a game. Hope you're all doing well. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you in the next video.